is. It's Tuesday all day.
It's Tuesday. Good morning, everybody. Happy the day after Memorial Day. I hope you all had a great 3-day weekend and sharing probably with family and probably staying as much as you can out of the heat. Today we are live with Wade Van Hooser, who's with Mid-Valley Cotton down in Tulare. We're going to be talking with Wade in just a bit, but we haven't talked about cotton yet in the last 2 months that we've been doing these Coffee with a Farmer. So this is a perfect time because the cotton, I'm sure, is growing very fast right now. And while he's not literally out in the field, he'll talk about what things look like right now and all about the cotton industry. So as we normally do, we'll do a round robin around the state and check in with everybody to see what you're doing. And but most importantly, today's question is, what are you going to do this week to try to stay cool? Because wherever, most of you, if you're in the Central Valley, it's going to be a hot one. And it's unusually hot for this time of year. So Mary Kimball, I'm the executive director of the Center for Land-Based Learning. And this week, I think what I'm going to do is stay at the office, which the air conditioning, this is a brand new office and the air conditioning is lovely. So not so much at my house. So I will stay here a little longer maybe during the day. And then when I go home, I like to, I know it sounds silly, but I literally like to spray myself off with a hose and cool off and do that even again, right? Like not too far before bed. Because it's nice and cool. So that's my style. I don't have a pool, so unfortunately. All right, Dana, how about you?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dana Baker, coming to you from Red Bluff, the Tehama County Farms Leadership Coordinator. So yes, it's going to be a hot one here. We'll be in the hundreds. So we have like one of the above ground pools. Probably find me floating in it some with the kiddos. But also, since it's going to be so hot, the baby doesn't particularly love that. So we will be kicking our AC on and doing that. When you have a baby in the house, that's kind of the way it goes. But between the AC and being in the pool, that'll be how we stay cool.
Very good. Joseph.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Montoya. I'm the Farms Leadership Coordinator for the Sacramento Valley. So keeping cool in Sacramento, pretty much just thinking cool thoughts. I do like to make fruit-based popsicles. That's huge. I have a 3-year-old. She actually just turned 3 a couple weeks ago. And also, we have one of those like small kiddie pools, and she loves those. Just a little water baby. So just anytime she can like stay in the water, get wet, stay cool. That's what we do. I'm just in the backyard.
That's perfect. I wish I had one actually, but I think they're all, my neighbor told me he's been trying to find one. They're like all sold out.
Oh, I bet.
That's not good. All right, Katie.
Good morning. My name is Katie Wortman. I am the Central Valley Farms Leadership Coordinator, coming to you from Fresno, and I'm staying inside. I've already kicked on my air conditioner because it's already quite warm and just work. There's nothing much else to do, but I did get some fruit, so I'll be snacking on some fruit, keeping myself cool, and a lot of water this week.
A lot of water. Hydration, that's right. Okay, Romy.
Good morning. My name is Romy Wattenbarger. I'm the Kern County Farms Coordinator here in Bakersfield. And I'll probably just be in my pool after we're out here at the ranch, stay cool, water, stay under trees, and then hop in the pool when I get home. So
there you go.
Sounds nice. Letty, I don't even want to hear what the temperature is in Salinas.
Well, we are going to be warm, and it's just warm for us. We're going to be in like 90s this week, but today's not too bad, so we're just gonna stay hydrated, get some sunscreen on, prepare our little kiddie pool for the kids, and hopefully give the dog a bath.
Good job for this week.
But definitely lots of water.
Very good. Okay, Wade, I'm gonna do a quick intro of you, and then you can share what you're gonna do to stay cool with your kids.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
so Wade Van Hooser is our man at Mid-Valley Cotton in Tulare, and he has been a wonderful host for a couple years now for our Farms Leadership Program in the Central Valley. We are very, very much appreciative of that, Wade, and we also get funding from the Cotton Alliance, and so it's important to us, to the Center for Land-Based Learning and the Farms Leadership Program, to highlight cotton as a part of our California, tradition and history of all of the different things that we grow in the state, and the very, very high quality cotton that we grow in the state, which is a lot of times people don't realize. And
Best in the world.
That's right. So Wade, take it away and tell us what you're going to just do to stay cool, and then introduce yourself.
Well, good morning to everybody. To stay cool this weekend, we actually are, I just set up a slip and slide in the backyard for our boys. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I might join them after work on there. I'm not sure if it's built for somebody like me. It's built for kids, but maybe I'll go out there and do that to cool off. But fortunately, the office right now is nice and cool. But as Mary said, I'm the manager here at Mid-Valley Cotton Growers, and I've actually only been here just over a year, but the gentleman that was here before me always encouraged tours, and we had probably over 20 tours this year that we did for all the middle schools and high schools in our area, even a few elementary schools. And it's just real important to give back and get people involved in agriculture, maybe not even necessarily cotton. And I know you all said you got some funding from Cotton Alliance, and Cotton Alliance it helps a lot of folks out, and they do a lot of things like that. And speaking to California cotton, it is, I'm not just saying that because I'm involved in it, but it's truly second to none. You go to meetings back east. I've been to meetings in Texas where they're talking about cotton, and they'll show charts of cotton from Texas, cotton from Oklahoma, Mississippi, and they're all in this range, and California's is off the charts. It just, everything grows very well in California, and cotton is no different.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got into this career.
So I'm born and raised in Tulare. The home I grew up in is actually about 1.5 miles from the gym. So this is home for me. It always has been. Went to high school here in Tulare, and went to a junior college here in Visalia. While I was working full-time, I worked for an ag chemical company, mainly dealing with organic fertilizers and foliars and spraying. Then transferred, went to Fresno State for ag business while still working for this the same company, and I worked for them for 9 years. Actually in high school, while I was going through college the whole time, and then even after college, while right after I got married. And then I heard about the opening here at Mid-Valley Cotton online, and I came by the office and said, I think I could be a potential fit, and would like to have an interview, and if that works for you guys. And I just joked that I threw my name in the hat, and my name was lucky enough to get picked.
I remember meeting you at Katie and I met you at the World Ag Expo in Tulare. This seems like 500 years ago, but it was only
3 months ago.
I know.
Lots changed.
And we met your dad as well. And
yes.
Now, don't you guys? But doesn't he grow cotton, or didn't you grow cotton as a family?
He grew cotton for many, many years.
Okay.
He quit growing in 2005, but he grew cotton, and when he was in middle school and high school, he worked on harvesters, worked on cotton pickers, and then grew his own cotton. And then actually now he's still involved in the cotton industry. He works with one of the cotton seed companies. And we can get into that we at our gin, we're unique. We gin a lot of what we call reproduction cotton. So we grow cotton for the rest of the world, take the seed out through our gin, and then work directly with the seed companies, and that seed will get used again next year. And so my dad actually works for one of those companies.
Okay, that's I think a perfect segue into cotton production, right? So
Yeah.
again, I know the students normally would go out there in the field and they would be seeing this, not at this time of year, I suppose, but
there's not much to look at right now, but the crop,
so
the 2020 crop is on the way.
Okay, so give us a little bit of a background of kind of like when it's planted and when is it harvested, and some of the details like that. And then I know Katie has some photos and videos to share of actually, I believe, harvesting.
And one of the things, and one of the things that gives California an edge is cotton is a longer window than most crops. I mean, tomatoes are 110, 120 days, corn somewhere similar, but cotton's closer to 150, 160 days. And there's not a lot of places in the world where you can get good weather for that long. Mm-hmm. And I mean, cotton doesn't need great weather, but the growing conditions in California are just ideal, especially for Pima cotton. If y'all have heard of that.
So yeah, why don't you describe that? What Pima is?
So Pima basically is high quality cotton. You've probably seen the My Pillow guy talking about his Giza sheets, and and contrary to Mr. Mike Lindell, there is regular upland cotton, there's Giza cotton, which is good, but then there's Pima cotton, and there's only 1% of all cotton that is grown is Pima cotton, and over 90% of it in the world is grown in California.
What makes it so special? What makes it different than
it's longer? So the staple of it, it's kind of hard to see it on here, but the staple of it is longer and it's stronger. Okay. So it can run through the wash better. It's softer. You hear sometimes with cotton shirts, oh, don't put them in the dryer, they'll shrink. Pima cotton doesn't do that. It actually gets softer over time.
Got it.
But with the trouble, and we actually ran into some trouble with it this year, is Pima cotton pretty much needs to be in the ground by April 15th.
Okay.
And then it takes till probably October 15th before you can harvest it. It needs 6 months. It needs hot days. It needs cool nights. But, you go all this time when the farmers are praying for rain, and then the whole month of April, it is pouring down rain and no one could plant their Pima cotton. So it got too late. It was raining till April 20th. So a lot of growers that were going to grow Pima cotton, unfortunately this year, didn't, just because the calendar worked against us, unfortunately. But if it's not in the ground by April 15th, it's too late.
So did they just plant other varieties, or did they not plant cotton at all?
Some switched and planted corn, but a lot of them switched to the basic upland cottons, which is most of our cotton. Got it. Yeah.
Okay, Katie, do you want to show you ready to show some pictures or some video, just so Wade's got something to talk about?
Sure.
Yeah, what do we got?
We'll see what Katie's going to surprise us with.
Oh, okay. We're looking at the gin stand right there. I think that's Stan, yeah.
Yeah, this was in 2017.
Okay.
Not my...
So basically what we're looking at here on top, you see all the cotton coming down, and the seed is intact right there. And as it comes down, there are, this is actually the saw gin. Oh, there you go. The video's going now. As the cotton goes down, it gets removed, and the lint gets stuck on the roller and goes one way, and the seed drops down, and that's the actual cotton gin right there. And that's not too different if you were to look at a picture of what Eli Whitney developed in the 1700s. It's not much different, just the scale has gotten bigger. But the actual idea hasn't changed. Oh, there's a good picture of the press right there. So
It should be a video, I thought. This is probably my favorite part of the whole gin.
I like it. And this is when I always warn my tours, it's about to get very loud.
And my computer's.
So describe before, I mean, maybe we can't do video here, but what is a gin? What is a cotton gin?
So basically, if you had to break down what a cotton gin is, on its most basic level, it's removing the seed from the fiber. And it does it very, very efficiently. You can grab some cotton straight from the field and pull the seed out by hand, one at a time. And the gin does it very, very efficiently.
Got it. Okay. So,
there you go. So that's the bale that's going to go into the bale cart right now. And then you can see the yellow right there. That's the bagging it's going to get slid into. And you'll see her right now. She's going to grab a sample. And that sample will get sent to the USDA right there.
So
every bale is sent to the USDA lab and sampled. And they grab a sample from both sides. And it has a tag that's associated with it, and that tag is associated with that bale as well. So you'll be able to go back and identify it, and that grade that it receives from USDA sticks with that bale all the way to the mill for whatever country it goes to. And the United States is actually the only country that does this. So they can trace the quality of their cotton back to that, and no other country can do that.
Wow. So how big is this? Like how many pounds does this weigh?
That is approximately 500 pounds of cotton right there.
Okay. And what would this represent in terms of like an acre or acreage? Like is it a quarter acre? Is it an eighth of an acre?
That's a good question.
I know it depends on yield, so
of course, but generally, if you can get 4 bales per acre, you've got very good yields. So yeah, I guess that can, if you want to do that, that represents a quarter of an acre right there.
Wow. You can keep. Can you press it? You see what?
Yeah, so it'll get pushed. It gets pushed into the bag right there.
Oh, the bagger.
And then the bag, let's see, you'll probably be able to see the tag. You can't see the tag. But that will get pushed out. And then as soon as there you go, there's the USDA bag. So all of the samples go in there, and they get picked up every day. And fortunately for us, the USDA lab is in Visalia, which is the next town just north of us. And once that shoots out, it gets picked up and then put onto a trailer, and then whatever grower, because the grower will identify who they've sold their cotton to, we'll put it on that particular trailer, and then once that trailer's full, it's off the yard.
So what are we looking at here? Is this another video?
So this is at the USDA office right here.
Oh, okay.
So you're seeing what the samples look like, and I'm not going to speak too much for the USDA sampling how they do it, but what they basically do is they put it into a machine with a lot of I believe it's like infrared lights, and they do a lot of testing with it, and they'll give grade on the color of the cotton, on the strength, how long it is. Oh, there you go. That's the conveyor belt at USDA.
Okay. And
it's a real interesting process.
So Joseph had a question about what, maybe it was based on a previous picture, but what kind of contaminants are they screening for? What are they?
The main one right now is plastic, and plastic is a kind of a dirty word around a cotton gin.
Okay.
And a lot of it has to do with these new John Deere pickers. They build a module in a different way than the old the old brick module. They build a round cylinder module and they wrap it with plastic. And if you don't cut it just right, a piece of plastic can end up in that sample, and it hurts the growers really bad. And it gives the gin actually a bad reputation if you have too many. In 2018, I think we had 4 or 5 out of 80,000 with plastic.
Wow.
And this year we had 66,000 bales and only 2 plastic ones.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, if you look at the percentage, it's, you know, a decimal of a percent, but we want 0. We want 0.
Yeah.
But that plastic is the main one because the mills can't do anything with the cotton if it has plastic in it.
Got it. So this looks like this is probably at the USDA. Oh, there's the group. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, there's Greg right there.
Yeah. So this was just the finish. I have them in like a album. So this was it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't have any more.
No, that's okay.
And then
We
you
got
don't.
to see the gin stand, which is the most probably important part, where the actual seed gets removed from the fiber and then becomes lint.
It really is probably one of my favorite field days, and I get a lot of stuff, like a lot of feedback from students because they have no idea that it's so involved like that.
Yeah. So
What's amazing to me is I forget the year with Eli Whitney built the original cotton gin in 1793, 1794, somewhere around there. The idea hasn't changed much, just the scale. It's a bigger scale, and they do it a little bigger, a little faster, but it's the exact same idea.
Yeah. And so what happens to that cotton after it leaves? You were talking about mills, and I think that most of the mills now are no longer in the United States, right? There's very few mills.
Unfortunately, no. I've heard there's a few still left on the East Coast, but unfortunately, most of it gets shipped overseas.
And where does that cotton go? You're talking about going on trucks. Does it go to the Port of Oakland? Does it go to the Port of LA? Where does it go? And then what kind of companies are there? You know, what does that Pima cotton mostly get made into? Is that mostly high quality sheets or shirts, or where does it go? Where would we find it?
Well, let's go back to that port question. The question is both. Depending on, we've got warehouses in Bakersfield and Fresno, and the Fresno warehouses will go to Oakland, and the Bakersfield warehouses will go out to Long Beach and LA.
Okay.
But that's all determined by the grower. What's cool, I kind of want to back up on this. Mid-Valley Cotton is what's called a co-op. So basically that means if you are a cotton farmer, you are part owner of the gin. So technically I have about 85 bosses.
That's super fun. Yeah.
No, and the business model is it's a very efficient model because you get away with a little more regulation because you are technically an extension of the farm since you're a co-op and not a private business. But basically the growers will tell us where they want to send their cotton. And there's mainly 4 or 5 different buyers out there, and they'll tell us beforehand, Farmer John wants to send his to Calcott. That's one of the buyers down in Bakersfield, or Farmer Bob wants to send his to Allenburg, and that's a warehouse in Fresno. And we have trailers out on our yard, and we've got Calcott trailers and Allenburg trailers, Jeff Smith trailers, and once they're filled up, each bale has a bale number, an ID tag on it, and that will stick with it all the way to the mill, so we can see where it goes. And they're working on technology actually to trace it back to the field from the t-shirt, trying to put a scanner on the back, and you can see this came from a field in Visalia, California, and this is what was sprayed on it, what type
Yeah.
of pesticides, things like that. It's the technology they're doing with things like that, especially the Pima Cotton to trace it, is amazing. And you had asked about the Pima Cotton. A lot of that becomes like premium dress shirts or sheets, it seems like, because it's worth quite a bit more money than regular cotton. And we actually had a grower this last year grow some organic Pima Cotton. And if Pima Cotton is 1% of all the cotton in the world, organic Pima Cotton was 0.01% of all the cotton grown in the world. And that got sent to Italy for some designer dress shirts. That I do know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure it was a high end. I know Patagonia was doing something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a California cotton, or I think it was organic. And then it was, I think there may have been, it did stay in the United States. It didn't go to get milled. One of those last few mills available. And then they made some very expensive but very, very high quality sweatshirts that probably will last people for 50 years.
Oh yeah.
But I remember that, and they had a big promotion, and certainly it was a way to understand more about that process and realize that we don't have very many mills left here. And
not in the U.S. I wish we did, and maybe that's, with everything going on with China right now, maybe that's something that could happen. I'm not too optimistic about it, but I'm hopeful that one day something could happen with that. But a lot of these companies now are signing deals directly with growers. We actually have a grower that has a deal with Wrangler, and
Neat.
All his cotton goes to Wrangler, and they become our jeans.
Yeah, and it's like part of that story, right? Here's the store that grew your jeans.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's pretty cool how they do that.
Farm to jeans.
That's right.
Yeah. What are some of the other things to share about California cotton or California cotton growers that you think is important for people to know?
Well, I know for us, a lot of people hear cotton and they think the shirts they wear, the towels they dry off with, the sheets they sleep in, but the gin is very efficient on, there's no waste. Even quite literally, what we call gin trash is valuable. And we work hand in hand with the dairy industries, and they'll buy our gin trash because there's still a decent amount of cotton in there. And they'll buy that, and the cows will lay on it. It becomes their bedding. And then through the gin, we didn't get to see this video of the gin, but there's actually a particular spot where the gin can detect if the cotton is immature, so it's not as long as it should be, and that gets redirected and sent a different way than the regular cotton, the fully developed cotton. And we call that cotton motes, which just immature cotton. And that becomes the cotton that's in sofas, in bean bags, in pillows, because you don't see it, so it doesn't matter if it's immature or not.
Right.
So that doesn't get wasted. And then how the gin actually makes money, the cotton seed, the main byproduct of cotton, we work together with the dairies, and the dairies feed it to their cows.
Yeah.
And California seed is the best quality of any of the cotton seeds you can get in the rest of the country, just because it gets rained on a little less, so a little less moisture. You don't have to worry about bringing it in on a rail car from Texas. It's right here at home. And California dairy industry is a big industry. So we get to work right at home here with our dairymen.
I remember the first time I saw a big, huge pile of cottonseed at the UC Davis Dairy. I went to school at Davis, and it's like, what? Number one, what is that? And number two, you feed that to the cows? I was an undergrad, and I'd just never seen cottonseed before. We don't grow it up here in Northern California.
And Katie saw us do this. I'll encourage the kids, crack it open and eat the seed right there. It's just like a a sunflower seed that hasn't been salted or roasted or anything, but you can have it.
It's tasty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real simple at that level, but yeah.
So coordinators, do you guys have some additional questions? I saw one from Letty. Did you want to ask that one, Letty?
Yeah, so I realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm Letty Hernandez from Monterey in Santa Cruz County. We do not grow cotton here, so this is like really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of answered most of my questions. I did ask how like me as a consumer can support California cotton, like if there's a sticker to look out for or anything like that.
No, that's a really good idea though. But just know if you ever do see a label that says Pima Cotton on it, there's a very good chance it came from California. And unfortunately, in your area, it doesn't quite get hot enough to support cotton. And cotton
They just have to grow lettuce and leafy
they,
greens. And
you know, they can grow just about everything else.
everything
there.
else.
That's right.
Yeah. I was in South Carolina a few years ago, and I was driving around out in the backcountry visiting a friend who has a quail farm. And you know, it was very interesting to me to see the cotton production there. And your point about rain, you know, so I'm driving around and it's like it's kind of on and off. This was in October, so it had been raining, and it was really wet and humid, but still really hot. And so I'm driving by these fields, and they'd been harvested, but the bales were like out in the field and getting rained on. And some of them had the plastic covering on. So why do they do that differently there than they do? But your point about the rain and the quality was clear.
You're talking about the modules when they're still out in the field.
Yeah.
Were they the rectangular brick ones, or were they the round ones?
They were round. Yeah.
So that's the new trend. John Deere makes this amazing $1 million round bale picker, and it's kind of like a hay baler.
That's what it
you
looks
go.
like.
Yeah, you go right down the road, and whenever it's got enough cotton to build a module, it wraps it, shoots it out the back, and you keep on going. The traditional way is you had to take the picker, it shot it into what's called a bull buggy, which is basically a big bucket right next to the picker. You'd have to take that, dump it into the module builder, and then that became the big rectangular module.
Okay.
And then they'd cover that with plastic on top. But no, back east in South Carolina, there's going to be a lot more of the round bale pickers, just because it does do a little better in the rain.
Okay.
And the cotton industry over there is a lot bigger, so they have a lot more money to throw at it than we do. But, you know, every year we get more and more. We're probably 25% of those, and I anticipate every year we're more and more the round modules. And for the grower, they save money on labor because one person can drive that picker the whole time instead of having to hire someone to drive the picker, someone to drive the bull buggy, and 2 people to build the actual modules. So that takes a lot more time. And interestingly enough, if they put that module down when it was dry, that's the best place it can be, even if it's getting rained on.
Okay.
Because you can lift that module up, it'll be completely dry under it. It absorbs all of it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's just super interesting. I was like, what in the heck is out there? What is in the fields? And you're right. At first I thought it was hay, and I'm like, that is not hay, that's white.
Yeah.
Looks like stuff coming out over here and there. I'm like,
I mean, back there, they're mostly, you know, 90 to 100% those round modules. Here we still probably 75% the traditional brick modules.
got it. Okay.
It's interesting though.
Help me understand something there. Yeah, and fancy John Deere equipment sounds about right.
Yep, you got it. Oh, there you go. Those are the round modules right there.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Katie. Okay, so those are, yeah, look at those. Huge. So it's about the same though? Is it like 500 pounds?
No. So the modules,
Are
they weigh more. The bale that we saw,
Mhm.
I get why you thought that though, because of the yellow wrap. So
Mhm.
the bale in the that leaves the gin is about 500 pounds.
Okay.
These round modules right here, that probably weighs about 5,000 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
But that has all the seed and everything still intact, and that's a good shot right there of the.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
there's the big
And
one. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's
yeah,
a good
the big
shot
one.
right there of the what I was referring to as the brick module,
Mhm.
and that weighs typically anywhere from 16 to 18,000 pounds.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and those are just loaded directly into the trucks, I guess.
Yeah, we I wish we had a video of that.
Yeah.
So these are sitting out in the field, and a truck pulls up to it with these chains, and they turn it on, and these chains pick it up, and it rolls it right onto the truck.
Wow.
And then we use the same thing. You can kind of see the front of it right there, that tractor.
Mhm.
It has the same equipment on it, and it rolls it on and off. And in this case, it's rolling it onto our feeder right there. So it goes onto that feeder and then goes straight into the gin. And then there's another good shot of the gin stand.
Mhm.
And it's just a video, or it's not a video.
The picture, yeah. The
No, but that's a good
continental
picture of it right there.
nice.
You can see the cotton on top with the seed still intact.
You
And if
can
you
see
look in the bottom right there where that
cotton.
light is,
Yep.
there, that's just the seed right there. You can see the seed falling. Yeah, right where she's got her mouse, right where Katie's got her mouse.
Perfect.
Yep.
Very good, Katie. Way to take those pictures at the field day. They're coming in handy.
Yeah. No, that. So once it's gotten to this point, it's already gone through 2 stages of cleaning, and when it comes from the field, naturally, it's got a lot of the sticks just from the plant intact.
Mhm.
So there's a machine that removes some of that, and then you can kind of see it just to the left of the gin stand right there. The first stage of pre-cleaning, and yep, right there, right where Katie's got the mouse. So it'll run through there, then it runs through the gin stands, and then there's one more station past this where we'll clean the lint one more time since it's got no seed in it,
Mhm.
and then it gets packaged into a bale and sent out.
So you call all of this stuff up here lint? Lint? L-I-N-T?
Lint.
Like
Yes.
lint? Okay.
Yeah, lint.
Like cotton lint. Okay. I didn't realize all of that was called lint. All right.
Well, technically it's a fiber until the
Yeah.
seed's removed, and then it becomes lint.
Okay.
But
yeah. Very good. Well, we
yeah,
don't take up too much of your time, Wade. This is awesome. I know I took a lot of questions or asked a lot of questions about the production side because everyone is this all for the most part all new to all of us. And new to a lot of the students who are watching or will be watching in the future, because students watch this, after today, and they watch.
Yeah.
We're gonna be assigning it because who knows what's going to happen this fall and school and everything else, and we want to make sure that everybody knows about California cotton and how important it is to the economy of those regions in Central Valley and to the state. And again, the quality. I think I was talking about this the other day with a friend, but you hear about Turkish cotton and all this, and that you see it in fancy magazines that it's Turkish cotton sheets or Egyptian cotton sheets, and it's just some, really our cotton is higher quality than their cotton.
The Pima cotton definitely is, yes.
Yeah, so it's like if you can find it, that's the hard part. We don't have a lot of cotton left in California, but when it's good growing conditions and the farmers have the water, obviously, to be able to grow it, and then they do, and that's really great. So
yeah, but the cotton industry is hanging in there.
If you wanted to say anything to finish out, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll let you go for the rest of your day.
Well, thanks for having me. But I guess if I wanted to end it on one thing, since this is an educational deal, the business programs and the ag business programs, they benefit you in more ways than you realize. I know there's a lot you can learn being on the farm, and I do think on the farming side of it, you probably do better farming than actually in school. But as far as the business side of it, and the way I actually believe that I got this job, at my job interview, I was handed a balance sheet and said, if you were the manager, would you be happy with this? And I looked at it and I said, well, it balances and I like that, but our short-term debt's higher than our money coming in, and I wouldn't be happy. And I know at Fresno State, my ag business courses, we worked on that extensively, understanding and interpreting the business side of agriculture. So I would encourage anyone that watches this to really pay attention to the business side of it, and at the same time understanding how it grows and why we actually do what we do.
Yeah, we're hearing that advice from everybody, from natural resource professionals to all kinds of, understand spreadsheets, understand the business side, understand the financials. You're going to be way better off with really any kind of job in understanding.
Absolutely.
That. So more good advice from the
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thanks, Wade. We really appreciate having you on today, and we'll share this video as well with the Cotton Alliance. And again, very much really appreciate the funding that they've been providing for the Farms Leadership Program now for 5 years. So we're very happy to be able to be providing this educational opportunity this year, even in a pandemic. So. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, very good. I appreciate your time, and you all have a good one.
Thanks, Wade.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
You.